Hey, Donny Walker back. So I'm going to do a 385 390 crankcase rebuild right now. I'm going to put new bearings in it and the crankshaft back in it and show you how I not press it together, but how I put it together, okay? First thing I had to do was clean this thing up a lot. This came quite dirty, so I had to wash it in the solvent really good. Now I've took a long time to scrape these gaskets off. Like I say, Husqvarna ones are brutal. They really stick to the metal. So I use my machinist block here and some sandpaper and get it so it's nice and perfect flat all the way around. There's no gasket materials left on it. So the 385 390, the one side bearing is just a typical 6203 C3, and then the clutch side bearing has this built-in seal, and it's from Husqvarna themselves. They do not, you can't buy aftermarket ones, or I've never found one, but not that I'd really want them anyways. So let's get at her here. I'm going to show you this. So first thing I'm going to do is, after I've got it cleaned up and both sides done, we're going to install the bearing into the flywheel side first. And we're going to heat it up with my handy Coleman torch here. Hopefully I got enough propane to do this today. Okay. Hope everyone having a good day. It's snowy out here right now. So winter's here. I do live in Canada. And think about this. This weekend we were actually going to race go-karts in Cowichan at a racetrack there. Because in the winter time we get a better deal on renting the track for our go-kart club. Last race we had, what do we have? About 150 entries, I think. Incredible amount of go-kart racers on the island here now. So I heat this side up till, so anyways, they canceled the race because there's too much snow. Go figure, who races in Canada in January? Anyways. So, I'm going to get this side. This fella sent this from, not sure which state. It's Dustin Appleton. Someone put a new top end on it, but they didn't realize some of the bearing flashing was coming up into it. So he would have wrecked the new top end, so I'm going to replace the bearings for him. He sent it all this way for me to port it and do it, but I had to take it apart and fix this stuff. And while I do it, I'll check everything over on it for him. Yeah, these are a great saw. You can't beat them. So get this heated up enough. Do my spit sizzle test there. Okay. Pretty accurate way, eh? Engineers are like that. The spit test. Was talking to a friend of mine in Ontario actually earlier, Don, and we were talking about his cats, his kitty cats. He's got a couple cats. And I informed him, I said, oh, I've never had a cat growing up. He goes, oh, really? I go, yeah, we had dogs, but no cats. He goes, oh, why is that? Oh, and I said, oh, my mom was attacked by a cougar. Hey, Mom, sorry for telling everyone. Yeah, my mom was quite young. I think she was 10, but she'll correct me on that if I'm not right. The cougar drug her off the porch of her house and clawed her up, and then the neighbor shot it. It looks about right now. Color's starting to change. Let's get that bearing in. Okay, move that out of the way for you. Kerplunk, in she goes. See that? No force at all. I oil it up right away, so get some oil on it so it doesn't heat it up. And we'll just let this thing cool down. I think maybe I'll take it outside to let it cool down. So, because I got a natural, the natural refrigerator out there right now. So put it out in the snow here. Okay, well it's cooling down. We'll get this other bearing in, and I will show you how this one gets in here. That one was easy because it just goes in and stops into the pocket of the crankcase. This one's got to be set in a certain area so you get the right spacing of the oiler and your clutch and stuff. So this one, I put it in so the outer surface of the bearing is flush with the inside of the crankcase here, okay? So let's see if we can get that one in easy enough. And then I'm going to show you how I pull the crank together in the crankcase. It's not like that 395 one where I just pressed it all together at once. This you got to use a certain tool, which I've got all rigged up here in a bag. So yeah, I think my brother Johnny has some 390s still at the Walker Saw Shop. I think he got about 40 or 50 of them. A lot of them were pre-sold, or guys were waiting for them, and he'll sell them in no time at all. If you're interested in one, you could actually check there with my brother Johnny. You could email at Walker Saw Shop, see if he's got any left. If not, too bad. You'll have to go to another country or find other dealers that might have any left. These are a great saw. 385 I think was better than the 390, but they're both good saws. All the parts are interchangeable between the 385 and 390, except for the cylinder and piston on the 385 was smaller. They also went through a couple carb changes, but never really had many issues with carburetors on these. The main problem I ever really had was some of these side bearings going, and later on 390s I've had some with rods actually breaking, which are weird. It wasn't anything to do with performance, high performancing them or anything. They just had bad metal, man. I've had them just blow right apart and take the whole case and cylinder and piston out. And this one we just got to get it right at the right temperature, make sure we get that bearing set level on the case here. Just take my time. Take my time. Stills are like this too, like 066s, 046s, 461s. What I do with those ones is I actually have a used oiler for each model, and what I'll do is bolt the oiler on it, because if I use a brand new oiler, you know, as I heat it up, it kind of messes it up, right? So I use these old oilers and bolt them onto the side of the case where they bolt onto. Then I heat the case up, slide the bearing until it stops up against the oiler, because that's how you preset it. If you try to use the still tools that they provide to do that, it takes you hours, man. Well, not hours. I just actually never used them. I just always done it that way because I wasn't a steel dealer for years. Now we are, but yeah, that's how I do them. Okay, spit test. Getting there. Okay, let's try her out. Starting to discolor a tad. Remember I told you guys too on these magnesium crankcases, throw one in your campfire, man. You see how bright it cooks. Right there. Okay. I don't want to move that. Just tap it a little bit. Okay. Get some oil on it. Hey, that worked out good being alive, hey? Live video. Usually something will happen, right? Yeah. Okay. Now we'll let that sucker cool. Yeah, that feels good. Maybe we could go in just a tad more. Just a tad, I think. There we go. That's her. Yep. Okay. So we're going to let that cool. And meanwhile, I'll go grab the other ones out in the snow. And we'll put the crank in the one side in the gasket. And then we're going to put this one on after. I want the snow to go away, but today it's handy. Okay, it's nice and cool now. Okay, so let's get this now, give it a little wipe down. A little bit of brake clean, clean the surface. The gasket sticks good. Okay. Alrighty. Okay, so first, put the dowels back into the case. They kind of hold the gasket in place. Keep the crankcase from moving around, I guess. Okay. Get our gasket. You don't have to glue them, but sometimes I do. I usually just put enough glue on it just to kind of hold it in position so it doesn't move around on you. But the dowels kind of hold it. You know what? This one I'm not going to use glue. We're just going to put it together. Okay. So Let me get over to my arbor press here. We'll press this one on, put this crank in. Okay, flywheel side. One of my little holders here at the bottom. Okay, spin you around. There we go. Alrighty. Put that in there. Hold the rod up so it doesn't move. Okay, complete. It's easy, eh? It's easy, eh? Okay. Okay, so now there's our ignition side in. I'll go out and grab the clutch side, and I'm going to show you how this tool works to pull it together, okay? All right, cool enough. Okay, so now we're going to just set this on top of here, on the crankshaft, onto the bearing. Some older saws, if they're real sloppy, that might just slide right on, but then you know the bearing should be tight on it, okay? So on my tool here, you can get this from Husqvarna. I can't remember the part number. Put this washer on there that sits in the kind of the inner race of the bearing there. Just make sure you guys are seeing this, okay? Yeah, you are. Get the bottle out of the way. Hey, get your bottle out of the way, Donny. Darn, brake clean. Okay, so make sure our gasket's still on. That's why I use the glue sometimes, right? Okay, it's on perfect. Okay, then put that washer on. And I put this sleeve on it here, and this left-hand thread bolt here. I'm going to thread that on. A few turns. Okay. Then I'm going to hold this with a crescent wrench. I think I got a big tummy, eh? Hold that with my stomach like that. I'm going to take this and I'm going to turn it left-hand thread. Keeping the crankcase straight, make sure the gasket and dowels get lined up. See, as I'm cranking it, it's pulling the crankcase down into the bearing. Couple more turns. Oh, okay, let's get this moved around a little bit. Over there now. Oh, our gasket slipped out. Okay, just give me a sec here. Put this gasket back in. See, that's why you usually glue it down. Okay, it's back on. Good, good, good. Okay, let's get back to the stomach mode again. Go on, buddy. Okay, it's almost there. Come on. There we go. Do it till you feel it stop. And look at it, it's all together, right? Now we just simply take this off. If I can get it off. Come on, baby. There we go. Okay, just undo it. Take that off. Hello, Shelly. Are you going to play in the snow? You going to town? Okay, Shelly's going to town. We'll finish this off in a second. Alrighty, I'll see you in a bit. No, I don't need anything. Okay, Shelly's going to town to get something. Okay, together now. Crank's turning good, so it's right spacing. Now let's put our crankcase bolts in. All right. Run those suckers in with my Allen, then tighten them by hand afterwards. Run them to the touch. This don't take that long, really, eh? Biggest time was cleaning it and getting that gasket off there. Okay, 4mm Allen. Crank her up good. Okay. Now let's see how it's spinning. It's not spinning too good, so we're going to get the flywheel nut. We're just going to give it a little smack over the center of the crankshaft. It happens almost with every machine I do. 394, 395, 372. So you just got to move it and center it just a tad. Okay. Okay, a little bit more. There we go. Turning good now. Maybe a tad more. There we go. Just a seal dragging a little bit on that side. Good to go. Now, last thing to do, because we got the seal built into the bearing on the clutch side, right? Flywheel side, need the seal on it. So let's get our handy dandy seal sleeve. Somewhere in this box. There we go. Get it on there. A little bit of oil on the seal. Work that seal over the sleeve. You can use a socket, or I got this here I showed you before on the last build. Just put that baby on there. Oh, that one ain't gonna work. I thought that fit on that one. It doesn't. Okay, we're gonna have to use a socket. Wait a sec. Huh. Must not have brought that right tool home. That won't work. There we go. It's in. Pull the sleeve off. Make sure it's down in there right. That's good. Let's give it a little more tap on that one side. There we go. Done. There you go. There's a 395 or 390, 385 case. Put together and done. Keep your saw on the wood, stick an edge, rubber on the snow. Have a great day. We'll catch you on the next one. Bye now.